Love it.
And don't forget to mail us treats. Here I'm ready for my big Halloween giveaways, going out to the neighborhood to give out my treats. And guess what? It's only 62 days to Christmas. And I've
Wow.
got my neighborhood Christmas treats ready also. My Christmas, I'm trying to get ahead of the game so I can keep up on all this buying and selling in the area. It's crazy busy here.
Oh my goodness. It is crazy. But today is going to be more like a lesson. So I hope if you guys are watching, start digging out your pen and paper. We're gonna give you a little lesson today.
I got mine. Okay.
Woo-hoo! I have my trusty notepad right here, my pen.
Yep. We want to tell you buyers, if you're looking to get into a newer home before the holidays, you can't wait. You got to jump on it quick. Right, David?
Yes, because we're getting a lot of people right now that are saying, hey, I want to buy a house. I want to be in the house by the holidays, right? But I don't want to get pre-qualified. And if I do get pre-qualified, I want to throw up all these random walls, right? And that makes it really, really, really tough for your lender. I'm gonna center myself a little bit. Here we go. We're gonna recenter. You feel a little taller than I am today, so I'm gonna redo this, right? Oh man, now my head's cut off. So there we go. So here's what the good buyer does, right? So the bad home buyer is going to be the person that's like, hey, I don't want to get my credit pulled before I get pre-qualified. I want to go to Sharky's Mortgage Hut. Sharky says I don't need a credit pull. Sharky says I don't need any docs. I'm going to wait until a week before closing. I'm going to try to shovel in all my docs, and I'm going to go online. I'm going to give Sharky a 1-star rating because of such a terrible job that person did. Right now, Sharky's isn't a real mortgage place, right? But we use them as our thing.
Right.
One, Sharky probably didn't know that you need to pull credit to get pre-qualified. A lot of lenders are giving away the letter without going through the steps because it costs them money every time they pull somebody's credit.
Right.
So they don't want to pull a lot of credit. They'd rather just issue a letter. If that person happens to buy a house someday, they'll figure it out as they go. And that's where those bad circumstances come into place. So here's what you do. You gotta, like, literally 90 days or more, preferably more, before you even consider buying a house, you need to get your credit pulled. Oh, it's a hard inquiry. Yes, it is. It's the only thing. Sending out a letter without a hard inquiry, looking at your credit score, looking at your debts, looking at your liabilities, looking at your payment history. If you get a letter without that is like the dumbest thing ever. You might as well just, scribble something on a piece of paper. That's it. That's about as worthwhile as that is.
Sellers aren't going to choose your offer in today's market.
No one's ever going to accept that offer.
Nope.
Ever. Right? So the savvy buyer does this. So write this down. Step 1, actually go through a full pre-qualification. I'm telling you everything, right? Get your credit pulled. Have your debts looked at. Look at the payment history. Have them make sure that there's nothing on your credit that's even going to cause a little bit of a hiccup, right? There's, what is it? Over 70% of credit reports contain errors.
Yes.
So, you have 90 days before you buy a house. You have a 680 credit score. That's plenty of time to bump off that little, error on your credit that bumps you over 700 or over 720. We helped somebody that was with a 680. We redid their score. They're a 720 now. They're doing a jumbo loan. That means that they can put less down as a down payment, and he's got a much lower interest rate and saving a bundle. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, hundreds of dollars a month by bumping off one mistake that was on his credit. So you're going to go through credit. You're going to go through income. Like if you have commission income, you're self-employed, you've made a job change with Corona, you need the full 9 yards. I mean, not just say, Mr. Lender, I've worked here for 3 months. Get them your last 2 years of W-2s. Get them the last 2 pay stubs, right? And let them work through that. Like get it 90 days in advance. All that information.
Right.
Get that over to the lender ASAP, right? And you'll notice the numbers too, right? You're going to go to your assets. when you go through your assets, make sure you've got enough money, not just for your down payment. You're going to have closing costs. You're going to have prepaids. You're going to have taxes. You're going to have insurance, right? Maybe even per diem. So you're going to have to anticipate these things. So many people are like, I got the 3% that I need to put down. Great. Where's the rest of your money coming from? And that's where you have a bad closing, because you get all the way to closing and Sharky never asked those questions up front. And they're like, I can't close your loan until you've got enough for all these different things. Sorry. We're going to be 2 weeks delayed on closing, and you're going to have to spend $2,000 extra because of that. And in fact, builders are so greedy right now, they charge $1,000 per diem right now in our area. KB Homes, which I don't really like them as a builder anyways. No offense, KB, but that is ripping your people off, charging them $1,000 for every day that their closing's delayed. But KB, on the other hand, will delay closings, right? So I'm like, so when our closing gets pushed back 2 weeks from your original close date, does that mean you're going to give my client $15,000? Well, no, it doesn't work that way. But so this is a good way to protect yourself from those unscrupulous builders that are out there, right? That is just insane. But you know what? They hold all the cards because they hold all the inventory. Yes. People aren't protected in this market. No. Home buyers aren't as protected as they should be. If you're a home buyer,
read those contracts thoroughly, everybody.
Yeah, builder contracts are the worst. Absolutely, yes. Absolutely. And I know
don't understand it. Take it to an attorney, please.
And the builder contracts are very, very one-sided right now.
Right.
Because they can be. Hey, you don't want to sign this one really super one-sided contract? That's okay. There's 12 other people in line, 20 other people, 30 other people in line that'll do it. So that's why I'm a big fan of buying existing homes. I'm a big fan of calling Myra and just being like, hey, find me a house, because I wouldn't want to. And Myra's, I know, is going to protect me because I don't have time to look at contracts. I got a business to run. You know, I got a mortgage business to run. I got a property flipping business to run. I've got investment. I've got to collect rents from my tenants, which I forgot to do this month.
Oops.
You're right. We got a lot going on.
You know, they have apps for that.
Right. I got to update my tech. Yeah. But I'm telling you guys, like, here's the thing, right? You got to go through that full app and get all of your docs in. And here's the last thing to write down: get all of your docs in.
Get all of your docs in.
Way before you even start looking for a house right now. And if you go to a lender like ours or any really good reputable lender, reputable team, they're going to send that into underwriting. It's going to go through, so that way when it gets to the end, you're going to have a full approval subject to you finding a house. You know, assuming that you don't screw up your credit or quit your job, right? So literally, you'll get all of your docs in. We'll process it as if you found a house. We'll get you the full approval, and then that way we can call the listing agent and just say, hey, we got a full approval already with underwriting. We'll easily close within 3 weeks whenever the appraisal gets back. All we're waiting on is your appraisal and the acceptance of your offer. If you're a listing agent, what do you think if you get that call, Myra?
Going to take it.
Right.
The thing is, don't forget those appraisals are 2 to 3 weeks behind now. Those guys are so busy.
Yes. And here's the thing too. Did you know this? If somebody's putting down technically 10%, but more realistically 20% or more, that in a lot of markets we're getting appraisal waivers now on a purchase.
Yes, we are getting a load of those in this area. That's for sure. And inspection waivers, buying sight unseen as is, waiving the inspection. They got to get into the home. That's the important thing. Don't forget that the underwriters are also, their desks are loaded with paperwork, files that they have to review, contracts and appraisal reports and inspection reports to approve the loan for that property. So it's not just the agent and the lender, it's also the closing agents. They're 45 days behind now. They can't close in 2 weeks. Everybody's scheduled because of the market. Everybody's busy. We are booked. We are booked behind 2 to 3 weeks for appraisals. 30 to 45 days for lenders, right, Dave?
Well, no, if they do the approval up front, if they get
Right.
all their docs in up front, then we are essentially ready to close in about 12 days because there's a 10-day disclosure that has to be done by law. And so the only other thing that we wait for at that point is either for the appraisal to come back or for a property inspection waiver. If we get a property inspection waiver, then after 12 days, we'll be ready to close. If they go through the step and have the conditional approval up front. If they don't go through the steps that we just mentioned earlier in this video and get their conditional approval up front, it will take 30 to 45 days. It's just so much faster. I guess an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure.
Right.
Does that make sense? So
do you allow an appraisal to be waived?
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. We
On
know
purpose.
buyers can waive an appraisal if they don't want to get one. They can not order a home inspection if they don't want to get one, but we thought lenders needed the appraisal.
No, that's what I'm saying. Technically, we can do it with 10%, but I haven't seen it with 10% personally yet, right, in the last few months. But if they're putting down 20% or more, we're seeing appraisal waivers. For certain markets, not every market qualifies. We send it through an automated system. If it comes back that says appraisal not required, then it's up to the home buyer if they want an appraisal or not. And in fact, what we'll do in those types of situations is we'll just approve it and keep going, and then the buyer can order the appraisal to just out of curiosity. We don't even need to order it.
Right. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's how we're able to close quickly, which gives our buyers kind of that edge above that competition, right? Because we're telling everybody, hey, we need all of your stuff up front. We're not going to issue an approval letter on, hey, I've got really good credit and I've got enough money to put down. Okay, here's your approval letter, right? Like those other lenders, they're so ridiculous. That's the only politically correct way I could put it. They're so ridiculous. But you gotta understand though, there's a lot of lenders in this business that they say that they've been in it for 20 years like me, but literally they just got licensed. Because you live in a house and you're 23 years old doesn't mean that you've been in real estate for 23 years.
Right.
I mean, come on now. I've either owned or run a mortgage business, right, for the last 2 decades, and I've been property flipping for the last 2 decades, right? So, because they kind of tie hand in hand a little bit, right?
Yes, they do.
So I make sure that my loan officers actually know what the heck that they're talking about, right? Myra knows I had to get rid of some people that didn't know what they were talking about, and their egos up here and their
work ethic
reality's more like down here, down there, right? So I guess that's the way. People are like, hey, if I shout loud enough, I'm right. That doesn't work in our business, right? You got to know your guidelines, you got to know your stuff, you got to know how to help your buyers, because if we don't, people can lose a lot of money if we get a loan officer that doesn't know what they're doing.
I took my notes. I know how to help my buyers.
Atta girl.
And I'm going to make one call after this because you gave me one more creative suggestion for a listing that I'm having a little difficult with.
Yeah.
So, hey.
And here's the thing, like realistically, everything's online these days. So you can just go click download, like your bank statements, download to PDF. Just about every decent lender out there, like it has an online portal like ours. You click upload to the portal, download, upload. Next, you go to your, iSolved or Advantial or whatever you use for your human resources. Paste up, download. There we go. There's 30 days plus, right? And then you go to our site, you click upload. And then while that's uploading, you just flip over to the same HR site and you W-2s, download. And you flip over to our site, which is probably open on your other window, and click upload. And it's almost instantaneous, and bam, all of your docs are in. And then the loan officer picks it up and they're like, hey, Dave, all the docs are in. Great, send it to underwriting. And that's it. I mean, it's literally, I'm kind of oversimplifying it, but it's literally that easy. That easy. Now, if you don't remember your password to the HR site, I can't help you. But some people are like, but I can't get into my HR site.
62 days to Christmas. So don't delay if you want to get into a home before the holidays.
How many days?
62 days. Every Friday, I'm going to remind you.
Oh, man.
And I got my Christmas gifts ready to go out to the community. And next
Get it
week,
now before the supply chain ends.
Next week, I'll be giving out my treats. Where's our treats? We're not knocking on your doors. Mail us your treats, please.
I didn't get treats, but the kids dropped off some toys. I guess we're going to
cool.
the park later.
All right. I can see that. All right. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. It's going to be gorgeous weather here in Southwest Florida.
Yeah.